I mean, I'm ready. Is it ready? It doesn't
So,
look like it's ready.
welcome everybody to Talk Show, Riot, the Talk Show. Quarterly, actually, only that have Stoic as guests. We have Sabz as champion as a matter. uh, so I am Liberty for all here. So Stoic, tell me.
So, I've been playing Summoner's War for what? A little over a year now. I want to say a year, probably a couple months or so. I didn't start streaming till 8 months ago. I think 8 months ago I started streaming the game. And the reason I got into streaming was we have a pretty niche group of friends that are actually playing Summoner's War. And I'm always the one to just totally dive into games. So when I dove into Summoner's War, like I just hit the YouTube real hard, and like they would always ask me questions, and I just loved talking about the game so much. So when I found out about streaming, I actually found out about streaming through Summoner's War. I never knew anything like about Twitch before, so it was like my introduction to Twitch as well, which is crazy because Twitch has been around for a while now. But in Twitch, like I can now share what I learn and share what I'm so passionate with everybody as well, and it's really cool, and I'm loving it, absolutely loving it.
So have you been enjoying your time in Twitch so far?
Yeah, definitely. Haven't run into any of the toxic people that are out there. It's been pretty good.
All right. And Sabz, tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, well, I'm Sabz. I actually started streaming like 5 years ago, so I have some experience with Twitch. I streamed League first, and then I got into Super Smash Bros. Melee. From there, I really learned how to talk to a lot of people. I was really good at networking. I was really good at just I guess talking. So whenever you go to my stream, it's mostly about talking about life in general and whatnot, honestly. And the reason why I dwelled into Summoner's War was because I really enjoyed playing the game. And with Summoner's War, it's really easy to talk to chat and talk to people. And you learn a lot as you play the game. When you make mistakes, chat will always tell you what you're doing wrong, And you kind of have to get the criticism, because since I'm a new player, I'm very new. And you have to kind of take the criticism chat gives you, and then you give it back to the community. And I think with Summoner's War, it's been really nice because everyone's been super chill, and the community is very small. So I feel like everybody watches each other's stream, and I think that's really cool and unique to Summoner's. That's why I'm here.
So far, what you're saying is the Summoners War community has been treated pretty nicely.
Yes.
And Champion AC3. How about you, bro?
Hey, what's up, everyone? I've just, been playing Summoners War for nearly 3 years now. I used to be, one of those heavy Call of Duty heads, not really into mobile games, but Summoners War is just one of those games that it just stuck to me and clicked, and the community is just so great. I haven't really bucked up into anyone toxic, I haven't run up into anyone toxic as yet. And it's just a nice experience, the whole streaming thing as well. I'm new to streaming. It's only been roughly 6 months, if as much, worth of, over the last 2 years. But it is what it is, You just have to take it one step at a time and just keep going at it, And Summoners War is just great. Everything about it, there's just so much to do. You can just, determine what you want to do for this month versus you can be playing weekly, daily. It's just one of those nice RPGs that are mobile, and you can take it with you. That's the best part about it. So I'm getting into mobile games as we speak right now.
So, of course, needless to say, people are noticing your accent. How about you tell them about that?
All right. Well, I'm from Jamaica, guys. Definitely
yes.
Jamaican.
All right.
I just popped up the chat again. I didn't even realize I didn't have it up. Hey, what's up, guys? How is everyone? It's so nice and cool and chill, Community is just so great. Everyone is so...
All right, so for everybody that is new to the channel, if you're hitting the follow button and you don't see the alert popping up, I actually have disabled the alert. because I don't want interruptions while we're talking by obnoxious sounds that's coming from my stream, stuff like that. So I hope that doesn't upset you guys. So we can dive into a couple of things. We can go for whatever is the hottest topic right now, which is probably the new monsters that are out. I'm pretty sure a lot of people talked about that already. We can jump into runes and what your perspectives are on runes, or we can drive and run to team comps, which I think should be left as one of the last topics. You guys want to do runes first, or you guys want to talk a little bit about those a little bit too OP monsters that make you run every dungeon in like sub 30 seconds?
We can talk about units first.
We can talk about what?
The units.
The units. All right. So, everybody here that's playing Summon Sword know that there has been some units released, and I think we can all agree that they're a little stupid OP in the PvE section, but in the PvP, I guess they can work pretty well if used correctly. Have any of you already pulled either the dancer or the boomerangs?
2 boomerangs.
2 boomerangs?
Yeah.
How about you, Sabz?
Wind and fire.
I mean, I pulled it for other people.
I mean,
I did
that kind of
summoning
counts.
for people. I have no idea about anything with the new warrior things, to be honest. I'm just like, I just have to build my dragons team still, guys. So yeah, when we were talking about this topic, I was kind of like, ah, shit. Runes for the new monsters. Oh. No, I only pulled like 2. I think in total 2 wind boomerangs. 1. I think only boomerang warriors for accounts. That's it, and that's all I know about them. So.
Yeah. You mentioned about the runes and stuff. Actually, that's one of the reasons why it's going to be interesting having you on the channel as well, is because you have a different perspective about runes than Stoic will have, simply because Stoic is much more experienced and he will be a lot stricter about runes. And like a lot of people before they give like rune advice, some people give rune advice and do not keep in consideration what the progress is of people. And the same thing goes for monster advice. So beware when you're asking for public advice and stuff. But we'll get more into that later. So Champion, how about you? Did you pull any of the new units?
I haven't pulled any new units at all, actually. I've tested them though. They're very nice. They're overpowered in my honest opinion. Like, I mean, for PvE reasons, it's kind of a setback to all those, intermediate players, the mid-level players that have been working for the last year, building up their dungeon teams to, progress further in the game, versus for like those high end game players that have been, playing this game for years, have all the runes they want. They can just scrap teams and build new teams instantly, type of thing. Like it's really just a big step up for them, and it's a move easier. Well, not what I want to say. It's a lot easier for them to progress further now because they can do runs a lot quicker with these units versus the newer level players that need to get the runes in the first place, and the mid-level players that have invested all their times devil mining their dungeon teams over the years, type of thing. But it's not a bad concept behind the game. I like the idea. It's just that I think they're just a little too overpowered, honestly.
So from what you said, do you feel like it's kind of a slap to the face to the new people and the more like mid-game people?
All right, not to the new people, but the mid-game people, yes.
Okay. All right.
The reason I say not to the new people is because they're obviously new to the game. They haven't really put as much time investment or rune investment into units as yet, and they haven't really, gone out of their way to build any teams. So if they get these new units, it will be a plus for them immediately. But for people like me now, who has been playing this game for like nearly 2 years, to then turn around and say, well, my whole Dragons team needs a reamp, and just get rid of 4 monsters and add in 4 new monsters, and I have to go Devilmon those 4 new monsters and all these things. It's just, a longer process and progress.
So, Stoic, as one of those quote unquote end game people, what is your perspective on you being in that pace of the game? How do you think that's going to impact you versus how it's going to impact the people, as Champion was just saying?
I mean, first of all, I think the first purpose for these new units was just to make up. Well, I mean, I don't know if Comptos just did this purposely, just how it worked out. But these new units were strictly, basically, for farming purposes. Because clearly, they can crush Necro, Dragons, Giants, everything sub 1 minute, and into like ridiculous times. These are finishing in with these new units. So it helps late games, it helps early games, it helps everybody. A lot of experienced players are showing these terrible runes on these monsters, and they are still performing. But it's also performing with, two pairs in like a Galleon, or 2 pairs in a Vertiheel in Dragon's Case, or something like that. So I don't think it's going to be a negative thing to the community. I think it's nothing but positive. And a lot of people are saying these new units are like super OP and will they be nerfed? I like to say, think at the time, well, not think at the time, but because I think Lucian was not added to the game. But go back to Lucian. Everybody will say the most OP monster in this game is Lucian. Why? Because he can be used absolutely everywhere, and he is amazing in everything that he does. Whether he's being in a TOA team, TOA normal team, in a rush team, for Giants, for Arena, everyone will say that Lucian's so powerful that he needs a counter for Arena. And I feel like the only place that these new units might so-called need a nerf is in Arena, but the same way Lucian is inside Arena is the same way these new units are going to be inside Arena. So I don't think it's going to be a bad thing for the community. I think it's just nothing but a positive thing for the community with these new units.
Nachos mentioned they advertised it as arena monsters, though. So them being hella OP in PvP was a shock. So you're saying right now is as long as there's the balance of them being kind of like shaky in PvP, it doesn't matter as much as they are OP in PvE. Is the balance that will lead it to not ever being nerfed too much. Even if they do, they will only tinker with the numbers a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. If anything, it'll just be like small like damage reductions here and there. But runes are gonna totally change those numbers. It's not gonna really matter that much at all. But so when they say PvP wise, like maybe they only mentioned Arena and not RTA. Like, did they think these were going to be incredible in RTA? I bet they would be incredible in RTA because I did have the luxury of watching a Barian match where I forget the Australian player. He just had a friendly match with Barian, and he wiped the floor with Barian because Barian wanted to see what the units were going to be capable of. Absolutely wiped the floor with them, and the runes were fair. I'd have to say the runes were definitely fair on them, on the new units. But in RTA, you just basically ban one of them, and that kind of fixes the problem. And then that leads. So let's just say you brought the pair into your RTA match, and then you paired it up with whatever 3 other monsters. So if you eliminate one of those pairs, you really put a huge hit to their team that they have going, because obviously they wanted both those 2 to go through. So it's never going to see any RTA time. It's only going to see Arena time. So when they said it was going to be PvP monsters, maybe it was just for Arena, because, I mean, they work really well in Arena as well.
So you don't believe that one single boomerang or one single chakram is worth taking into RTA?
No, not at all. I don't think so.
All right. So when the monsters got announced, obviously we were super stoked because we wanted new content for some time now. What was your reaction to when it got announced to when it got released with all the skills, Sabz? Like, what was the first thing that went through your mind when you saw the monsters, and then when you saw what they did when summoners were released, the skills and stuff? I'm pretty sure you saw that video.
Okay.
What went through your mind?
Well, first I saw it because I was watching Islands' stream, right? But I think it's really funny because, okay, this is just like a completely out of the, but you guys know how I am. I'm very out there. But I think they released a new champions because one, they needed new content, and two, it was because a lot of people have been playing Fortnite, right? Because they've been playing a different game. And I feel like since the new units came out, we got so many summoning sessions. Like, I haven't seen Island or Shredded or any of those players stream so much in one whole week. And it was like crazy. So what happened was, like, when the new units came out, it was really fun because then like you get more streamers talking about the new units, and then you got more people amping it up and all that stuff, which I found was really interesting because a lot of people, I think, are kind of getting bored of Summoner's War, if that makes sense. I don't know if like it's the same with all you guys, but I have a lot of people coming to my channel and we're talking, like they would talk to me about the game, but like everyone's always asking me if like, oh, did you try playing Fortnite or other games? And I'm just like, what's going on? What's happening? You know what I mean? But when the new units came out, like there's like a huge buzz for a week. So the only thing that I thought was interesting about it was just that it gave a community like a good high all of a sudden, and then like, you know, now it's like settling down. People are finding out what's good with the new units and stuff, but now that everyone has summoned and then some people haven't gotten it, it's back to a whole like, oh, okay, no, actually they're not so good at RTA, they're more for PvE, so like it's dead again. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. I also feel the same thing coming from with my stream and stuff. Sometimes I don't exactly know what to talk about. So people come in for mostly like reviews and stuff, but nobody want to discuss things going on with the community and the new content because of like the hype and then the game getting repetitive and stuff like that. But it's always going to be like this with this game because it is a grind game. It is going to be a frustrating game as much as it is going to be rewarding when you finally are able to do something that you were able to do before. So that's just kind of like the essence of the game. Some people are gonna quit for a month and come back, and it's going to be like that all across the board, right?
Yeah.
Earlier, Champion mentioned something about being able to quickly change for the higher players, being able to quickly change runes onto the new monsters and make them very viable, other than the newer people not being able to do that and quickly use them to the full extent. My take on that is, if you're a mid game, I still consider myself mid game, right on the edge of end game. If you're still mid game, it is something that where you have to set your priority to what you want to do. You have good runes. Most of the mid game players, if you're able to farm GB10 and DB10, most mid game players have the rune to make them viable. It's whether you want to rule a monster out to make him a new unit viable, or not doing that and then wanting to farm new runes, and it's gonna take a little bit more time. So Stoic, like, how do you see? How do you think it would be most effective for people around our, like, me and Champions game level to make these units useful with runes?
Oh, it'll definitely be pretty easy for you guys. So, I mean, for you guys, ideally, you're looking at crushing those giant runs, those dungeon runs. So dungeon runs and necro especially. Rune quality wise, I've seen like no speed. If you happen to have Juvagel on your friends list, if you take a look at his wind boomerang, I think he had showing before, he was running it with like 34 speed, or it's either 34 or 43 speed on his wind boomerang. So it's not like it was like crazy OP with this insane speed. And damage wise, I'm not sure what kind of damage or the numbers he was running, but it wasn't anything to like to freak out about or anything like that. So rune wise, I think anybody can rune up one of these things.
So, Champion, from what you were saying earlier, I have the feeling that you have been having a little bit of issue finding runes for your monsters. And how's that going for you? How are you going about getting yourself some runes in either GB10 or DB10? I don't know what your progression is exactly. So how are you going about that?
All right. Well, I'm not really experiencing issues with getting runes for new units or anything, but what I have an issue with is upgrading my runes past the stage that they are. Like, I don't really, collect any rune that I just get my hands on or that I can see. I have to then set aside and tell myself mentally, can this rune potentially be better than the slot that I have on this unit
How
before
do
I
you
can
gauge
collect
that?
it or not? Pardon me?
How do you gauge that?
Okay, so I always say there are 3 types of runes in the game, right? You have support, attack, and sell runes. That's it. So support runes, you just, basically you want to look for speed, HP, defense, resistance, accuracy, things like that, what you want a unit to have, basically. And for attack, obviously you want attack, crit damage, crit rate, speed, things like that. Basically, what determines if the rune can be good or not is the grade, the level, and the slot. So let's just say, for example, right, you want to upgrade a slot 1 Swift rune, right? To get a better Swift rune than what you currently have in that slot, you're going to have to look for similar stats. And if the stats were at a lower level, as in, like how sometimes you can get a rune that says +4 speed versus +5 speed versus +6 speed, you then think about and say, okay, so how many times can this rune roll into that stat that I want now? So if it's a blue rune, you only have 2 chances for that to happen. So it's a 50-50 chance that it can either roll into the stat you want or the stat you don't want. So basically, you just have to keep getting, higher grade runes, like purple and the legend runes, and just keep trying over time. So, you can be farming for 8 hours straight and collect maybe 5 runes, and only 1 of them or 2 of them turn out to be usable in the long run. So, for progression wise, you just have to keep farming. Like, I tend to farm at least 8 hours a day, at least. I'm trying to get it up to like maybe 12, but it's just one of these things that you just have to be lucky at. It's the same thing like pulling monsters, like you can sit down and do giants for 5 minutes and get 5 legend runes, and then you can sit down and do giants for 5 months and get 2 legend runes.
True.
Like, it's all about just keeping it up and just keep going back and just keep on farming, because this is a grind game, so we just have to keep doing what we have to do, which is grinding. Like, if you want to reach to G1 level and G2 level and things like that, it's going to be a rough 18 hours a day, most probably, farming for the next 2 to 3 months of you just getting good runes and then upgrading all your towers, like glory towers, most important thing in the game.
Thank you.
12 hours is okay. Yeah, 12 hours.
Thank you. Somebody says it.
12 hours is okay, but like, if you really want to be in the top 100, like, you're going to have to push yourself further than you really expect yourself to be,
Okay. Earlier when you were talking about runes, I could see that vein pop out Stoic's head because I know he's thinking about this. His gears are grinding. But before we go back to that, Sabz had a question. I want to hear what it is.
Yeah,
No
I wanted
problem.
to ask you guys, since it's like a newer player asking people who are more experienced and whatnot. Since I don't know much about the new units, right? Because we were talking about new units earlier. I can understand what you would want to rune them. I'm guessing they're attack ones and whatnot. But I knew that most of the top players, I guess, like when I watch Island or Shredder or something, they would use new units for Necro. But I remember Stoic mentioning earlier that since they're PvE, they are used also for Giants and Dragons, yes? But which units would be used for Dragons and Giants? Are you doing like the Water Chakram and the Water Boomerang for Dragons, or are you doing just Wind and Wind for Giants, or what would you optimize? Like, which units would be best for Giants or Dragons? Because that's the stage I'm in, right? And I'm like, because I know the regular like Sigmar's, Vertihile, whatever for your basic Dragons team, but if I want to upgrade them with the new units, then what am I looking for in new? Which one?
So what chat is saying right now? Robert is saying Fire Twins and Water Twins are good for DB10. What do you think, Stoic?
Yeah, obviously. So definitely you're firing your water for DB10. I've seen wind. I've seen the wind units being used in Dragons B10. When you can still apply those debuffs and, so what? You're hitting glancing? It's just too much. It's overwhelming, honestly. So that's what really makes these units pop.
Would you be able to like tell me?
Really.
Sorry.
Yep,
Would you be able to tell me like the differences between which twin and what? Like if you switch the elements, does that change the debuffs that they give? I'm guessing so. Like which team would be best?
I don't know the skills on the monsters. So you'd have to look at and see their team up. So I think they team up with their first abilities. I could be wrong. I wish I had them to give them a shot.
What was the first
myself.
ability?
Well, you can always ask chat. We can always ask chat if
Yeah,
you
no,
know
it's the first
it,
ability. You can use
know?
whatever ability you want, and it'll team up with a pair and use the first ability, kind of like Rauk does or Tark does. It's the same way.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
first-
Yeah, so it is attacking with first ability.
Yeah, Chivado says so. So it works. Okay. But then that's it. I was just confused because you know how because I know how to do giants. I would tell people like, you know, you go for Sigmaris and then you get rid of like your Darien, and then after that you'll find wind monsters, either the wind barbecue and all that. But with the new units added, whenever somebody were to ask me like, oh, how would you use the new units? I'd be like, I really have no idea. I never summoned them, so I can't really tell you. So I just would think it would be helpful if someone had summoned new units. If you get like the wind boomerang and the wind dancer, if it's better to optimize them or rune them, or just continue farming with the ones that they already give you. You know what I mean? I don't know which is optimal.
Yeah. I think it just depends the element that you're facing. So if you're Dragon's B10, it's going to be a fire boss. So if you have a fire boomerang or a water boomerang, and let's say you have fire, the opposite, fire or water, both of it's going to be fine. But let's say you have a wind chakra and you have a fire or water boomerang. So when the boomerang goes to attack, the chakra comes in. The chakra is just going to be hitting blanks because of the elemental.
Yeah. But it makes it so that they both attack multiple times is pretty much what you're saying, right?
Yeah, they're always going to be doing that for sure.
Okay. That was my question.
All right. So earlier, Champion was talking about the runes that he's keeping. I do want to hear Sab's take on this before Stoic, because Stoic is going to be more strict about things, and he's going to probably preach some rune theories and whatnot. So Sabs, when you're farming runes, what is it that you're like, what's going through your mind when you're like, okay, so this I'll keep, this I'll sell, or this is a good rune for this monster? How are you going about this so far as the newer player in the group?
Well, to be honest, now I've become experienced enough so that when Champion was telling me how he does his rune things, that's exactly how I do it now also, to be honest. But before, what I did was I just went for, okay, if it's slot 2, 4, and 6 and it's a percent rune, then I'll keep it, because it's hard for me to farm 6-star runes, right? In the beginning they were like 4 or 5 minute runs, which is ridiculous, right? But then now that my runs are about sub 2 minutes, what I'm looking for now is I need to make sure that either slot 4 is either crit rate or crit damage, or slot 2 is speed or HP percent. And I watch for that now. And I'm more picky with making sure that the substats make sense. Like you wouldn't want like crit rate with flat HP or flat defense. Like I'll sell that immediately. Like I look for, you know, how do you say it, efficient runes now. But in the past I was just like, oh, it's a legend rune, no problem, I'll keep it. You know what I mean? But now I'm just like, okay, I've been powering up runes, and I'm like, I've been wasting mana on runes that I don't need, because I'm like, oh shit, I need 100% crit rate. And I'm like, this has 15 crit rate, which is chill, but there's other ones that have like 5 crit rate and then a lot of random substats, and they're not concentrated on one. And I feel like it being concentrated on one makes it a lot easier to organize. So that's it. Right now I've just been trying to roll speed just because I want to roll speed. That's it.
Yeah, actually that's also something I was going to talk about, because Champion was talking about the blue runes. And okay, so I've been running 2 accounts for quite some while now. One account which is much newer than the other one, so the view upon runes are going to be completely different. And it's even becoming a problem that I get confused which one is which, and I keep some runes on my main account that I wouldn't have usually done. And the thing about the way I take about it is, I got an alt account not too long ago, and the runes were just terrible. Like terrible, I'm talking about inexperienced, just stupid bad runes. Yeah. And I had to stabilize my GB10, and what I did about that account, and this is my advice to a lot of people who are just starting out to farm GB10, because listen, you have, what is it, 500 rune slots, or 600 now? Is it 600, something like that? You have a crazy amount of runes that you can keep in your storage. So fill that shit out, right? Go to GB10. About 90% of the runes that you get has the potential to be way better than whatever you have right there. So what I did on my alt account, I would blindly keep everything till about a week before free rune removal, and then I would sort that thing out on speed and roll everything. everything that I have in there. Roll everything, because you can have a purple rune with good speed on it and have no rolls in it, and you can have a blue rune with mediocre speed and have double roll in it and be better than whatever you thought was going to be better than that. So in that way, in that sense, for my alt account to stabilize and get good runes on my alt account, I would keep everything and roll everything. And then I particularly use the rune optimizer, but I also am able to rune without that. So having every rune rolled by the end of the month, so by free rune removal, you know what potential that rune has at that moment. So if you have a purple rune, you'll plus it to +9. If you have a blue rune, you'll do +6. And so you know where the substeps already went. And I believe that even blue runes can be very good, because you can have a 6-star blue rune rolled twice and you'll have 18 speed, which is much more speed than probably any of your units have on one rune, right? But for my main account, on the other hand, I hardly keep any runes that doesn't have speed at all, right? Even for my alt account, I would keep a Swift rune that has offensive stats, because I can build my Lucian on Swift without needing all these speed substats and all, because it'll get the 15% from the set. But in a level of a Conqueror player, having such thing and not enough speed is gonna get you killed so quick. Before you'll just look away, you'll just blink at the start of the battle, and you'll come back to on one unit standing. Like that's the type of shit we deal with, right, Stoic? Every single time. So Stoic, when you're looking for runes and you're going through giants, you're wrecking through dragons, what are you looking for? What are you keeping, and what is your thought process about the runes that you're getting?
I am not afraid to show this, guys. I am not afraid to show. I think everybody should have one of these. Take a look at this. So these are 5 stars. These are 6-star. It's backwards. It is backwards. But what it is, it's your minimum rolls and it's your maximum rolls. So if you don't know your minimums and maximums, you don't know exactly what you're selling. So you want to see maximum rolls on just about everything. And that's pretty much where you're going to be keeping what you're going to be selling. So as you're going through dragons, giants, and everything like that, you're looking for those stats that you really need. You want to have some monsters in mind. Like if you're trying to be, let's say I'm running up a Ciara. You know, I'm looking for speed. I'm looking for HP because I run a tanky Ciara. HP, attack, little bit of accuracy. Definitely not going to hurt your Ciara. You want to at least have a good mindset for who you're looking to be runing as well. But then when you see a good rune, you know it's a good rune. You're going to be, you're going to take it, you're going to roll it, and you're going to see where it goes. So you just got to know what you're looking at, and when you roll it, to hope that the rolls are positive, because we're all looking for the maximum rolls. And sometimes, let's say it's an ideal roll, Let's say slot 2 speed, HP, defense, resistance, purple rune. Call it purple rune. Looks like it's gonna be fantastic for a support unit. So we have 8-8, 8-8-7 or 8-8-8, because we can have accuracy at 8 as well. So it's 8s across the board. But guess what? What if we roll all 5s? So all right, so minimum rolls doesn't look that great, but if it's minimum rolls throughout, you could possibly have a blue rune that rolls maximum rolls, have potentially a better slot than that one. So you can't count your blue runes out, and it's just all about having those big rolls you need to pay attention to. So know your minimums and maximums. So what I'm trying to say.
So some time ago, when before I changed my mindset about runes and I started educating people differently, my vice and my best friend showed me a video of Shredded Puzzle, and he was explaining how, like, the rule of thumb of, if you're looking for a Swift rune, you want it's because you want your monster to be speedy, and so why would you keep a Swift rune without speed on it, or a Blade rune without crit on it? Stuff like that. But then you get, let's say, a guard rune with a bunch of offensive stats and good offensive stats and whatnot. So the first thing that goes to your mind is like, we can keep this for a broken set. Now, like, how do we go about the broken set theory? Because I have a bunch of legendary runes from the new sets. I don't even consider those runes that I would usually use with enhance and fight. And I know that after some time, I've seen a full fight Bastet, and when I saw that, I'm like, the concept is crazy. If you have a full fight Bastet in raid, by all means, if I summon a second Bastet, I am putting it on full fight. So how do you go about keeping and selling those runes, especially if they've been sitting there, although they have like amazing stats, they've been sitting there for a while. Do you get rid of those, Stoic?
So I recently did a rune cleanup on my account as well. So I had a lot of runes that I thought were pretty good, but my issue was I wasn't using them, and then I had runes that were like them. So if I've got 3 copies of one rune and my rune box was filling up, I would rather see my rune box full of grinds than seeing copies of a rune that is not being used. So I ended up selling my copies and keeping one of a rune that was not being used sitting in my box. And I'm going to build my rune box up later. So it didn't really affect me that much, especially it's collecting dust, guys. I'd rather see more grinds for potential runes in the future than to have 2, 3, 4 copies of something I'm not even using.
Okay. Knowing also that we've been farming runes for quite some time, and we've been and whatnot, we know free rune removal is around the corner. I think it's going to be next week Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. Champion, do you what plans do you have for the monsters that you currently have? What plans do you have for ruining them? Are you gonna because like three free rune removal ago, I re-runed all my monsters, and it took like the longest time. But we know that most people don't go and re-rune all their monsters all the time. So what is your plans for the next free rune removal?
Okay, so I actually have no plans for.
Whoa, you cut.
Last free
Okay, sorry, you cut out for a
removal.
second. You say you have no plans for what?
Sorry. I was saying that I have no plans for the next free rune removal because last free rune removal, I took off all my runes off for all my units. And I just basically sat down and made my best units, as in the units that I want to be using for this month, have my best runes.
Yeah.
So what I did recently was my second Lucian, he's on full broken right now. He has on no sets, and he has 91 crit rate, 155 crit damage, 65 speed, and only +1 for attack. Not really the best stats for a Lucian, but I mean, it was much better than having him on a fatal set that I had that have the speed, the crit rate, the crit damage. So I just wanted to make a point there when it comes to stats, not sets. Like certain units can definitely go with, the stats over sets. It's a prime
Camilla.
example like Tark, as I read in the chat earlier. Like Tark is one of those units that you can't just say, hey, I'm going to go and farm a full, let's say, fatal set so he can do max damage with a lot of speed and all of this. Like it'll be a lot more difficult for you to get those full legendary runes on, a set for a Tark versus you could find a unit that you would use everywhere. It's priority once again. And I would just find it a lot easier to put certain units on sets the stats that they need versus you try to force them to do something that they're not ready to do. If you understand what I'm saying.
I definitely do. So
I mean,
go ahead.
No, go ahead, go on.
Oh, I was gonna say, so we all know that sometimes it's gonna be better, especially if you're not precisely focusing on getting revenge or Vio. You can go easily stats over sets. And actually, Childish has a very great video on that matter. So if you guys want to learn more about that, you guys can go on YouTube and look for Childish and look for that particular video, because I know that will teach you quite some bit. If you don't know all your units or what you should do about them, that will definitely give you an enlightenment on when you could use stats over sets. Right? Now, here's where it gets really interesting, right? Because sometimes I hate farming runes. Like, I think a lot of people know I've gone 2 months without farming runes and do jack shit for my progression for some time now. I've changed that around the way. And one other thing that we can talk about, which is also particularly relatable to all the runes and the quality that you're able to do, is raids. So I'm wondering right now, Sabz, as the newer player, have you been able to already do raids at all? Have you been focusing on getting units or the rune set for raids?
No. The short answer is just no. I don't know anything about raids.
You don't think about raids at all?
No, I just get carried. That's it.
Are you? Oh, okay. Look. I particularly believe in getting carried so you could get the good grinds so you can progress. I would do it at any time. If there's someone that isn't able to do R4 by themselves or even R3 and I can carry them, by all means I will. Because the grinds, although maybe not worth putting on the mediocre runes, it will help someone out. So I do believe in that. And right now you can do GB10. Can you do DB10 already?
Ish. I didn't use. Okay, because you guys know my account got hacked, right?
I was about to ask that.
So, like my account got hacked. That was able to do DB10, but now that I'm on my other one, I got good win mons to make good like a really quick Giants team. But I didn't fuse Sigmarus. And I'm really lazy. I don't feel like ruining Sigmarus. So my 5th is Daphne. And sometimes it works, but hey. Yeah.
Okay.
If it works type thing. But it's because like to get Sigmarus, it takes like a bunch. And I'm just like.
Fusion
so
is a pain.
Yeah, exactly. Because I had Sigmarus on my other accounts. I have fused everything else on my other accounts. And then I go to this one and I'm just like, no, I'm taking a stand. Come to us. I don't want to fuse anymore.
I'm about to digress just a little bit. What is the current status of recovering your account?
Oh, the last time they messaged me was like 6-7 days ago, and they just said, like, can you give us more information on the other devices you use for your game? I was like, yeah, sure. And then they haven't messaged back.
Yeah, I feel like come to us customer support is ass. To be very, very honest, I'm not gonna even hold it back. I'm not gonna just come to us ask for anything. I think they should step it up as much as they should step up account security. I do believe that a lot of people don't know that they need to verify their email, and come to us doesn't make it required to verify your email. And then the second password as well, it's an added step. But I felt,
over the place.
Yeah, I felt like it still was a slap to the face for the community that's been getting hacked and stuff like that, has been asking for account security. So I'm really looking forward to what they're gonna do next about that. So as we were talking about raids, so right now you're focusing on going to dragons instead, right?
Yeah, I'm doing dragons. Like, I understand a bit about what you need for raids. I was only able to unlock like R4 and I get people to help me R4, but there's no way I could do R5. I don't have because I feel like when you go to R5, you need units more than you need. Like, I don't think the units you get for R5 are farmable. You need to like get the Hua and get like the Miyang or whatever. So it's like really hard for me to do an R5 team because I have to summon the units for R5.
I understand. Actually, some of the units, yes, you need to summon them, but you can still do R5 with basic unit, but it just does require a lot of rune requirements. And like Champion said, I think I mentioned this every stream. I go to everybody's stream and I mention it in everybody's stream. Your arenas by the freaking glory buildings because they will help a lot. So without those, I doubt that you're gonna get enough rune requirements to be able to do R5 even with like very, very great runes. Now, so you say you can get carried through R4. I think R4 is very much worth it. I've been doing R4 for the longest time. I've even carried people through R3 because R3 is like on the borderline useless. Like it's like right there, like you can get those grinds that can be. I think every little bit helps. So even if you get greens, every little bit helps. That's how I go about it.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
So for R5, you said, is there a team that you can make for R5? Let's say you have godlike runes, okay? Is there a team, but you're just really bad at summoning? Is there a team that you can farm to do R5, or is it like really like impossible?
Well, when you say farm, will you
3-star
consider
units like Nat 3s?
and do R? No, probably not.
No, right?
No,
Like,
no.
what's your standard team for R5? Like your first basic standard team for R5?
Stoic?
Yeah, all right. So what do we have here? So a unit that comes to mind that is farmable is the Light Cowgirl. So Light Cowgirl has been a replacement for Hua. I'm not saying it replace all your Huas, use Light Cowgirl now. I'm not saying that. But I have seen people use Light Cowgirl instead of Hua. And Hua is usually one of those big time units people are looking for, R4, R5. Now, what other units are we talking about? We're talking about
Darian,
another
Colleen, I'm
damage
guessing.
dealer. There you go. So, yep, of course, Darian, Colleen, farmable. And then we were looking for a cleanser, which would be Konamiya, farmable. And then, so we could pretty much put somewhat of a farmable team together. You'd be on more of a tankier side because a big time damage dealer like the Water Kung Fu Girl is a unit that a lot of people use. So I'm not sure what else is out there that would replace something like that.
You can use Zhongfei too, right? The fire.
Zhongfei.
His fusion.
Yep,
Yeah.
usable.
He's fusion,
So
so
you pretty much have your front line done. If you can get like a tanky enough Konamiya as well.
this is gonna
I'm
be
just gonna
very
just run
long.
the two. Yeah, you're not looking at top
Yeah.
Contribution.
contribution.
Yeah, I think next to Light Cowgirl, I've seen Ardella being used as well. So I think Ardella is also, you can farm Ardella. So I think she's also viable, isn't she, Stoic?
I have seen people use Ardella before, but not a lot. I have seen.
Ardella. Ardella is which one?
The
So
wind magical.
Oh, what? Really?
Magical archer.
Yeah, magical archer.
That's weird. I've
Okay.
never seen it before. That's why. I
So,
like it.
Champ, are you able to do any raids already? Are you doing raids already?
All right, so I just recently started doing raids again. Raid 4. I can raid 5, but I need other people can.
Is
me?
he
He's
cutting out from
right?
me alone? Yeah,
he's
you cut
cutting
out. You cut
from me
out.
too.
Try
You're cutting
again.
in.
Go ahead again.
All right, sorry about that. I was saying I can definitely do raid. I can R4, R5 though. I need other people that can also R5. You know. Is it
Okay.
still cutting out?
Yeah,
It
it's
cuts out
cutting out like
sometimes.
once in a while, like very awkwardly. I don't
It's
know.
like whenever you want to say R5, it's like stop. Don't say it.
I don't know if it has to do with the volume. You may want to like lower maybe the voice activity just a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's that. Go ahead and try again.
All right, 1 second. All right, how is this now?
Okay, try.
All right, so I was saying I can definitely do raid. Yes, raid 5. It sounds like it did it again.
Just keep going. We're getting you. We're getting you.
So yeah,
Maybe just don't say raid 5.
Basically, for raid 5s though, I need other people that can carry themselves, manage themselves, because I can't do a carry job for raid 5s. Raid 4, it's not that much of an issue. But I want to answer Sab's question a little the raid team. Like it is 100% possible, fully farm.
Okay, you're cutting out bad. I don't know maybe do you wanna leave the call and come back in? I don't know what's causing it. As you're talking, like the voice just cancels out. And I don't think it has to do with the volume. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what's causing it. So maybe restart your Discord.
All right, 1 second.
All right, sure.
Do we all move? Oh, does it get weird?
Yeah, everything gets
Does the interface get weird? Do we have
Everything gets
weird
weird.
bodies now? I think so.
Y'all
We
seeing
must
like the
now.
corners
there
and
it is.
stuff.
We don't see. Oh, we just see Stoic's forehead. That's beautiful. Hot.
Good that you did that updo, Stoic, because now that's focused on.
Right? He was ready. He was ready for this. I knew it. I was like, oh my god, I'm ready. Oh,
All right, we got Champion back in. Okay,
Talk
let's try
about
this again. You say you were talking about how Stabs talked about a fully farmable raid team, and you think that's completely possible.
Yeah, it is possible. 100% possible.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, you have units out there, Konamiya as a cleanser and a healer. You have Wind Yeti, very good healer for raids.
Yeti.
Yeah, the wind Rakaja. I've known people talking about Rakaja for some time about being a healer. If you don't have a Chestoon, he's a pretty good healer. I think he's relevant to how many people are alive or something like that. I don't know. There was some condition to him. I have never seen him in raids, but I could see that as an experiment totally.
Honestly, I've seen it like maybe 3 or 4 times in the last year or so playing raids, honestly.
Okay.
And other units like the Light Penguin, very good as well. Uh, um, but that's not really farmable per se. It is easy to acquire though. It's not farmable, but they also have other farmable damage dealers, like the Wind Homunculus, and then you can even go even simpler than that, the Wind Vampire. He's a mini Brandier. He does very well in raids, honestly.
What's his
So-
skills do? What's Wind Vampire do again?
All right, so the Wind Vampire basically he does more damage to the amount of harmful effects that an enemy has on his third skill. So it is basically just like Brandia, but it's just an acquirable Brandia. You can fuse it, and you can definitely skill it up by fusing more of them.
Yeah, nobody want to try to do that.
Hey,
Anybody got
I
time to
definitely
do
do.
that? But yeah, totally. I get what you're trying to say. Obviously.
But the Wind Homunculus is definitely, in my honest opinion, the best farmable damage dealer for raids right now, because you can set it up to do branding and max damage with multi hits, and you can also use it in Necro at the same time. So multi-purpose units is what I always look into. I don't like to say I'm going to invest a month worth of farming runes and devilmons for this one unit so I can only use it once a week or once a month. Like, I'm not going to do that. I rather sit down and say, hey, can this unit be used in dragons? Yes. Can this unit be used in necro? No. Can it be used in raids? Yes. TOA? Sure. And then go out of my way and then build units off of that, like multi-purpose, because it's not really as heavy on myself to then, as a free-to-play player, to put all of my resources into just one basket for just once a month type of thing. Like, it's stressful sometimes, guys.
From chat we getting Salty Zod saying Colleen should be one of everyone's top priority. She is so useful in so many places. I agree.
Yeah, definitely, I can agree with that as well.
Colleen is a
She's
fire harpoon, Zaricel. So we're talking about doing raids. So for everybody that's not doing raids yet, what is the point where you say like, okay, so now I can start focusing on raid? Like what do you need completed first? Like your own personal pre-requirements, Stoic, before you start doing any raid?
Requirements before raid. So what do you mean by requirements?
Like,
before
okay,
raid?
so the progression goes like, I usually say, okay, so do your GB10 TOA, DB10 TOA hard, kind of like that, and then you'll start doing raids. Or you can, like on my alt account, I was able to do raid 4 but not dragons. But that was the purpose. It was an experiment. I was like, okay, so I'm gonna do it with the most. I'll switch things up. I'll do giants with an unconventional team. I'll do raid before I can do TOA 100, just to show people that there is a play style to the game, and there are other paths you can take, but there's always that one path that is the most, let's say, mainstream, the most recommended one as for what you should focus on as progression. So what is your take on what should you focus on before you hit raid, even try to do raid?
Yeah, I think Nacho's nailed it right now. So GB10, DB10, but even before I'd say DB10, I would actually say TOA. So if you're doing your GB10, that's a lot of time that you're spending getting some of those quality runes. And I think TOA normal should be done before your DB10. I don't think it's a necessarily need to be done before that. But I think the quicker you can get into TOA, you're quicker to unlock that ability to be free to play. So anybody who is a free-to-play player, when you're able to finish TOA, you're getting all those crystals back. You're getting free summons back. The Devilmon, super important. Those premium scrolls are really nice because a premium monster for a free-to-play player is totally game-changing. So I would say progression-wise, GB10, TOA normal, DB10, and then when it comes to TOA hard, I think TOA hard and then starting to get into R4 raids, I think would be great.
Okay. So most of the discussions talking about raid, everybody that's talking about, oh, let's do raid 1, let's do raid 2, us. I'm pretty sure anybody in here in this talk show today, if you talk about let's do R2, we're like, what the hell are you doing with your life? There is no reason to do R1. There is no reason to do R2. At borderline, maybe you can do R3 to make yourself feel better. And once you can get into R4, that's where you really starts doing raid. Do we agree on that?
Yeah, you've got the challenge modes though, so no matter what, you're gonna be going through your R1, R2, R3, R4, just because of challenge modes. But yeah, there really isn't a purpose. You should not be farming R1, R2, R3. There's nothing for those green grinds are doing nothing for you.
And since we're talking about grinds and gems, what I think Champ said he's just recently started doing raid right now. So Champ, when you're getting grinds and gems in raids, what goes through your mind when you're keeping and selling? What are you looking for? What do you decide to grind and what do you decide to gem? What are your thoughts about gems and grinds?
All right, so can you hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, since I'm new to raids, right? As in like I just started doing R4 again, I am legitimately keeping every grind possible because every grind is definitely a step up from what I don't already have, if you understand, Because all of my runes, if not all, I should say about 80% of my runes right now are ungrinded.
Okay.
So I'm working off of, this 3 years ago, summoners were hype, before grinds were introduced and all of that. So I'm an old school summoners war player. I'm just getting.
Let me get it straight.
aspect.
How old school are you? Are you violent runes in Feyman old?
That was a time,
That was a time.
or are you
like
solo arena Vermos old? Before they nerfed Vermos.
When Vermos was 10% HP.
It was 15 for
per-
any cleansing.
It was so ridiculous. Like I saw Vermos as a god unit back in those days, but that was when I just started playing though. Like I was like most probably level 10, 12 at that time.
Okay.
I was in the tutorial stage, as we like to call it,
Okay,
But
fair enough.
Beyond my time.
Yeah, it seems so.
When
You're a
did you-
grandpa.
Sorry, go ahead.
He's a grandpa.
So Stoic, when did you start playing?
2017.
2017. So you're a baby.
Last year.
So you're a baby. A very, very rich baby.
No, it's called no lifing the game. Absolutely. So you guys had mentioned earlier, like how long do you play or how long do you grind for? Well, guys, I wake up at 4 a.m. every day for work. I turn Summoner's War on. I play during work. It never stops. My favorite part about this game is that it has an autoplay setting. I've got earphones I keep in my ear and I listen for them to finish. I play during the car. You don't. None of you heard
None
that.
of you do that. We all do it, but do as we say, not as we do.
Yeah. I got 1.5-year-old. Game's still going in my pocket. By the time I'm going to bed, I'm making sure I've got no I've got no, and I wrap up my day. So when I say how many hours do I play Summoner's War, well, how many hours are there in a day? And pretty much that since I started.
Okay, so since we're talking about playing Summoners for a very long time and playing as much as you can breathe and all that, I think it's just proper if we're going to talk about free to play or pay to play. So I think judging by Stoic's ragdoll, we can say he's pay to play.
Oh, that was a free to play ragdoll. Free to play ragdoll. I did
No,
not
but
buy that ragdoll.
are you pay to play? Are you a heavy spender or are you completely free to play or just like packs? What is it that you do?
I've gone in and out of it, honestly, but right now I'm just getting the Devilmon packs, and when they come out with like a special package right now. I used to be pretty heavy into it, definitely into heavy for pay to win. And I'd have to say that's really what shot me off into progression for sure. So when people say when they're pay to win, I really don't say I was paying to win. Paying for progression is basically what I was doing. And the rune packs are huge. It's totally game changing if you can get that rune quality up there as soon as possible. Viral runes, man. Viral runes change the game when you're starting out, and obviously getting monsters as well. So
Okay.
so pay to win, it really is. You are eventually going to win, but I mean, all the times that you dump money and you get nothing for it, I'm telling you, every time it happens, you never want to do it again. And then they come out with some fancy little pack that drags you back in.
Always. So Stoic spends a bit. I know Sabz, you spend a little bit on your main account, right?
No, I spent nothing, 0. That's why it's so hard to get my account back.
Oh, right. I remember you saying that. So because you have 3 accounts. Did you create all of those 3 accounts?
So my first one is actually the one that I was doing now. That's really lucky with summons for some reason. And my main account was because I summoned a better Nat 5 on it, so I worked on that one instead. But I only spent $40, and it's just because Hell Lady Transmog was really cool looking, and I just summoned Ethna, and then Comptos is like, hey. And I was like, all right, I'll buy it because it looks cool, and I don't have an RTA team on this, so I'm not gonna get I wasn't gonna get the shape shifting stones for it.
So anybody that spends on Transmog, I do not consider them to be in any type of pay to play. I would say they are all, even if you spend for Transmog, like my girlfriend, she spent for Transmog. Like, I'll tell you, she spent for Transmog, hey, but she is completely free to play.
Excuse you, hey, this is now sexism going on in here. Excuse you, sir.
So even me, like, I'm completely free to play. I do have a Transcendence scroll in my account, which was actually a Christmas gift from my best friend. So that is the only money that I have in game. That Transcendence scroll did have a very, very big impact on my account, because just take a wild guess what monster it was that I got from my Transcendence. Just a wild guess.
Zyros.
Almost.
Varad?
Varad. So as soon as I got Varad, it's like, oh, now I can do TOAH on auto.
I like how you said a little spending, and you're like the Transcendence scroll. I'm like, yo, that's $140. You crazy, man.
No, it was $100. It was $100.
It's 140 Canadian. All right, we're not all American here. Excuse you. Okay.
Honestly, I didn't spend. Okay, I didn't spend. It was a gift. But other than that, I really didn't. I didn't spend on anything else. It's not a really like pay to win kind of thing. I do have a little money in my account, but other than that, like every other unit, every other things, runes and everything, they were all free. So Champion, how about you? Have you spent anything on your account at all? You said you were free to play earlier, right?
All right. So in my so-called 3 years, or upcoming to 3 years, I have spent a total of, let's say, $60, 2 transmog packs, Assassins and Pioneers.
So worth.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, I mean, I have Isabel. She's my favorite attacker of all time. Like, even up to this day.
Which one again? Sorry.
The Dark Assassin.
Dark Assassin. All right.
Yeah, like that's been it, basically. And when I saw the Pioneer transmogs, I had Wusa and Pongback, and I was just like, you know something? I really love my Wusa. I don't really care too much about Pongback. Pongback's alright. He's not that bad. He'll definitely get built in the future. But I was just like, you know something? I can't make this opportunity pass me. Suppose I ever do get a light and dark Pioneer as well.
Assuming.
Okay.
And then a week later I got Chiu, so it was definitely worth it for me,
Oh.
There you go.
Compto has heard you. They can read your mind, I swear.
Hey, if they can, like, it's very mean of them to still not give me an Orion.
They're so mean, right? Wow, what the hell? So inconsiderate.
So since we're talking about monsters and whatnot and clan packs, I know that a lot of us are looking for that one particular monster that you either need or you want. whether it's light and dark, nat 5,
Galleon.
even 4-star. Really, like I still don't have a damn chilling. I still don't have a chilling. But is there any monster? I'm not even gonna ask you, Stoic. You already have Ragdoll. We're not gonna talk about this right now.
I can't tell you how many times on stream that I opened up an LD scroll and I was like, Compass, I'm not asking for much. Gianna Ragdoll, that's all I want. Gianna Ragdoll. And I
Not
can't
Ragdoll,
believe
did
it.
you not?
I got Ragdoll, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever. I want
So-
LD
Galleon.
pieces.
So the monster that I'm looking for, and I actually recently tried to summon for it from Stones, was Sierra. I really like Sierra, and
You guys are all greedy.
look, no, I'm saying like I already got all the nat 4s that I want. I have about anything. The only thing that I can really, besides chilling, but the only thing I can really ask for is a nat 5 or now the new units. Okay, like that. But one of the monsters I want, the one I want the most, is Sierra right now. I know that Nachos for some time wanted Chasoon, and let me tell you a story about this. So she's been chasing Chasoons and Stones for some time, and she has spent, correct me if I'm wrong, or say the number right now, Nachos, of how many stones you spent trying to get Chasoon. There she goes. Oh my god, already. She has spent.
You're making her cry, man. What the hell?
No, she has her now. It's okay. She has
Okay.
spent thousands and thousands. There you goes. 35k stones trying to get
Ooh.
Chasoon. And she has summoned, and I am not even kidding, she has summoned every wind nat 4 there was except Chasoon. Like literally, she did a summon session and got like 3 wind nat 4s that she didn't have and no Chasoon. So now that
wait.
she has Chasoon, I think her dream monster is Praha. So Sabz, is there a monster that you don't have on any of your accounts? Because I know you have Ganymede on well, you had Ganymede on your
Let's
main, I'm
not talk
sorry.
about my
Let's
main.
not talk about that. But is there a
I
monster?
know you have Ganymede. Not anymore.
I'm totally about you getting your account back. You are going to get your account back. But
yeah,
is there a
absolutely.
monster that you hadn't had the chance to play with or had in your possession yourself that you
So
say you
on my
want?
main account, actually, since it's really RTA heavy, I would have really liked to get Perna. Like that's really greedy, but I want a fire nuke because I had like I have like what is it? The 4 RTA units I have on it is Ganymede, Camila. So Ganymede is the Wind Fire King. I have the Water Valkyrie. I have the Fire Monkey King, and I had the what was the last one? Diana, the Wind Unicorn. So those are really really good. I feel like RTA units, but I just didn't have like a strong fire dude because I could use Sigmars if I just wanted to like wing it, I guess.
Of course.
But I would have been good with like Daphne or like Perna or Rakan. I don't know if there's any other fire like Nat 4 that are nukes. I don't think that really exists unless I'm
I think
Fire
Hua
Nat
works
4's
really
Trevor.
well
Yeah.
as a fire nat 4.
Trevor. Oh, I don't have Trevor on that account either. But that's it. But that's just for like to build the RTA because I have a stable dragons and a giants team. So if I were to looking for RTA, it'd be that. For my second account, because I have a lot of wins, I want Galleon. The only reason why I want Galleon is because I know that it will make my runs like sub 1 minute. Because I have my team right now is Tashar, the Wind Barbecue, the Tashar is the Wind Phoenix. I have what is it? Lucian, and then it's Vero and Bella. But like I didn't fuse Sigmars, I don't want to. And I figured if I get Galleon, I could get rid of Bella and it will make it way, way, way faster, you know what I mean? And on my other account, I just don't know. I don't know what it needs. It's just doing whatever it's doing right now.
Well, Tri says this week is Galleon, so good luck on him if you try to summon him.
I just tried summoning him. I took a poop, okay? And I was like, I heard that poop summons work, all right? So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go poop. And then I go and I get lightning, and I was like, oh, no way! And it was a fire lich. Oh my god,
That's how I got
confidence.
Ragdoll. It works. It works.
You got Ragdoll on poop summons?
Yeah.
No way!
Yep.
Oh my god, I
work.
never got anything
They
from poop
work.
summons. I rage poop summons. It doesn't work. It's so bad. Oh god.
Oh man.
I tried everything. It doesn't work. Everything is a lie, man. I swear.
So so is there any units you're looking for at all, champion? How about you, man?
All right, so I mean, there is one unit in particular that I am looking for. And I've been searching for this unit for almost 3 years now. And I have summoned it about 8 times, never once on my main account. I've summoned 3 of them for one person already. And they had 5 of them already. And that's Orion, guys.
Oh my
Like,
God, Ryan would be so good.
like I really want Orion. Like all brownie magicians are very good. Like every one of them. And I'm always been about PvP, so I'm kind of wanting to move heavier towards PvP. So that's the one main unit that I'm really looking for. Anything else is a plus, in my honest opinion. I'm not getting too greedy and saying that I want more Nat 5s because as a free-to-play player, I have more than 8 Nat 5s right now and a couple other units that I need to skill out that I can't just, acquire those Devilmons for. Right now, I'm working on my Varad, and it's just after that I got my P-Samot and Varad, I decided to say, hey, I need to take this PvP game seriously now. Like, there's no reason why I should not be doing RTA. There's no reason why I should not be finishing at least Conqueror 2-star to Conqueror 3-star. But it's more than just the units. You need the runes behind it. So I've just, been farming and dropping my rank and farming in arena for those glory towers and farming in guild wars and farming in all aspects of the game.
Okay. All right,
But
and
I really want a fire ninja as well.
oh, the Fire Ninja. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
After the buff, a lot of people started looking for them.
Actually, I didn't even like the so-called buff. I prefer the old way the ninja was. Like
Okay. Okay,
it's
let's call
just
it the
player
rework. The rework.
yeah, it's just player preference, I believe, honestly. Because like the kit now is very useful and is more useful according to a lot of players and more helpful. But I mean, I remember those days where you could literally hit a Garo 42 times and he has 0 HP and he's still right there in front of you, like it's a lot. It was a lot harder to deal with back then than it is now, but it does make the game more balanced having him as he is now, though. Honestly.
Okay. Stowe.
Yes.
Besides Ragdoll, what's good?
What am I
Gianna.
looking for right now?
Gianna, right? Isn't that what? Gianna, Ragdoll, were you not listening? Jesus, man.
No, I needed him to say it again because this guy and you guys want to call me greedy?
No, honestly, I'm not looking for the Gianna. If the Gianna happens, the Gianna happens. I'll preach it to everybody about LD Nat 5s. Everybody, every single person's going to get their LD Nat one day. And it's going to come when you're not expecting it. Now, I don't recommend anybody starts digging into those LD packs because you can go and talk to Scat Fetus and ask him, how much did he spend to pick up his Gianna?
And you get banned.
And he will admit it. He will admit how much he just spent for it. And, it's been years that he's probably been purchasing those LD packs. So I don't recommend anybody hunts down these LD units. They are OP. They are game-changing. I understand that. But keep in mind, you don't need them to still play the game. Yes, they're going to be great in RTA. They're going to be amazing in RTA. But you don't need RTA to progress throughout this game. I know endgame content really is RTA. But I mean, you can still do just fine doing your guild wars, doing your arena, and you can take care of everything else. RTA is strictly just like that fun stuff. You get all transmogs and whatnot. You don't need to do RTA to progress at all throughout this game. So that's where those LD units stand. For me, though, what I'm looking for, and I'm looking for ACC. Whether it be attack bar reduction like a Ganymede or a Varad for AoE freeze.
Ethna works too, right?
I would love to pull an Ethna, but I would so much rather have Varad, Ganymede, even Hathor. Hathor would work really well on my team because I've got so many single target attackers so that I wouldn't be waking everybody up. Because I like to use all my units to their full ability. So if I had units that did lots of AoEs, I don't want to take a skill away from them because I picked Hathor and I want to keep everybody slept. Molong would be really good because he's pretty consistent with his stuns.
But can't
not
you use
consistent with the strips, but his stuns.
Couldn't you use like Orion and Gemini though? Gemini, I don't know the difference between the two too much, but I think Orion is like it. I'm pretty sure you have one, right?
I have both of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So wouldn't you use them too as an alternative for CC, or is that just not ideal for you now?
I mean, I have both of them max skilled. Just for my team, that they don't really work that well for me, and I can't rune them up nice enough to make them that useful for me.
Okay. So how would you ruin Nat 5s you're gonna get, huh? If you can't even ruin Orion, what is
I'm
that?
gonna get room for those.
Exactly. But like, yeah, I wanted to ask you.
I don't use Orion elsewhere is my thing. So I don't have any defenses with Orion. If I were to be ruining up Orion, I'd only be ruining up Orion for RTA. So I'm a really big preacher on ruining up a unit that has multi-use elsewhere. I have some units that I have ruined up that I don't use elsewhere. But for me, Orion, I would only be using for RTA. But if I had a Varad, I would be using him in TOA, and I'd be using him in RTA, maybe some Arena or Guild Wars, but really focused in the RTA and TOA. So I would see Varad as multi-use for me.
I'm guessing because of the limited amount of runes you guys like usually keep and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, limited amounts of quality runes is the issue.
Oh my God, they're going wild in chat.
I know, right?
So let me take this time, real quick to tell you guys. Listen, if you, all these people, if you haven't followed yet, you should check all of them out. We got LL Stoic LL, we got Sabz, and we got Champion AC3. So feel free to check their channels out. They all stream at different times. Sabz usually at late night. What is your schedule, Stoic?
Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays.
At 7 p.m. EST, if I'm correct.
Yeah, 7 to 8 p.m. EST, depending how my video.
And do you have a schedule, Champ?
Yeah, I stream Monday to Friday, 5 p.m. EST onwards. I don't really have anything set on the weekends. I normally also stream on the weekends, but it's more like a surprise, whenever I wake up type of thing.
Surprise!
It's just like, hey, you can just maybe not get any sleep and just say, hey, you can just go online and stream a little, or you got a little too much sleep, you wake up a little late, and I'm feeling a good vibe right now, so why not?
That sounds like all my streams. How about you, Sabz? You don't exactly have a schedule, do you?
No, usually it's either because now I only work right now on Tuesdays and Sundays, so I always do late night, but it depends on whether or not I'm willing to skip the morning school of the next day, because usually like chat keeps me for a really long time.
Yeah, till like 5
so
a.m. like last
4
night.
or 5 a.m. Right? So then I have to, like, before I start streaming, I have to think, okay, do I have to go to school tomorrow? Because there's a chance I don't go to school, right? And then like I think like, okay, I did most of my work today, so I could probably stream. Or if somebody is like, Sab, can you do my summons for me? And I was just like, oh, okay, I'll stream. And I'm like, all right. But
and speaking of summons, I was actually it's not part of the show today, and it's not part of the episode today. I was thinking that if any of you viewers or any of the streamers had any scrolls saved up, and you guys would want us to summon it on the show after the show, that it's always also going to be possible. I'm not sure when yet, but I'm working on that. I think that would be a very good feature to have to the show itself, right, Stoic?
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about runes. Are there any current topic you guys want to address?
I wanted to ask Champion something.
Go for it.
You said you wanted Orion. You don't have Orion. I'm not trying to salt your wounds or anything. But like, what's the difference with using? Because I see people use Gemini a lot, but is it because of Orion's annoying second skill? Because Gemini still has like a cleanse, defense break, or stun or something, right? So what would be the difference? I don't know.
All right, so I have a Gemini, and
yeah, because it was given. That's what I thought, right?
Yeah, I have a Gemini, and basically what I really would like an Orion for is the attack bar boost and his third skill. Like, all right, I mean, his attack bar boost is his third skill. So I am lacking when it comes to attack bar boosters on my account. Right now, I only have Bernard and Draco, and it's
Bernard
very
and
difficult. Pardon me?
Bernard and who as your attack?
Draco.
Draco is who?
The Fire Brownie Magician.
Oh, fire brownie. Okay.
So it's very difficult to use Draco and Gemini in a combo together, because Gemini's passive works off of not having any beneficial effects, and there's only 2 attack bar boosters in the game of this game that don't give beneficial effects, and that's both Frigate and Orion. And I find it a lot easier to get an Orion than it would be to get a Frigate. That's why I'm kind of aiming for that Orion. I'm number
maybe
1.
you get a frigate. Who knows? And then you'll just never have an Orion. It's super chill. It'll work.
I have Orion on my alt account. I really love it. Like the Gemini Orion combo is just ridiculously cancerous in my honest opinion. But all right, so when you look at a unit like Orion, right? How many Nat 4s are there in the game that do 5 jobs with just 1 skill?
I know. It's so random.
That's true.
Like
Oh my
he
god.
boosts attack bar, he defense breaks, he heal blocks, he not
He
disturb,
stuns
It's
and
stun,
strips and
defense.
strip.
and strips. That's 5,
And on top of that, he violent procs without violence.
Yeah, I know. Wait, so if you put violent on him, he just has more chances over whatever chances he has, right?
Of course.
Yeah, and then when he naturally procs off of his first skill versus a violent proc, it resets the violent counters. So instead of it dropping from like a
RTA, for
22% to, pardon me?
I said for RTA.
Yeah.
Yeah, for RTA, but I mean it's every aspect of the game as well. Like like when you have violent procs, like the proc percent chance decreases over each proc. When a monster naturally goes again from its own kit, it resets that totally.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting.
theoretically, you can see Orions move 8-9 times still in RTA, if you have the luck on your side, basically.
Diana.
Usually when I see Orion, I'm like, this
Damn,
Orion is probably
perfect example.
super fast. I don't know how people get like over 300 speed on Orion on Violent, but that's like some ridiculous things. I'm just like,
Alright.
there's a defense that has Orion. Like, I'm just gonna chill. I'm not gonna hit this one. As a newer player, I'm just like, no. I think my Bernard is slower than this Orion.
So since we're talking about Orion and all these speed monsters, let's talk about how heavily having a lot of speed impacts your game and your progression. How important speed is to everything that you do, whether it's PvE or PvP. Can't use Purian with Gemini. Oh my god.
I wouldn't be able to really talk about PvP, but for PvE, I definitely understand it a lot more, especially like after doing Giants. Like first in the beginning, you do survivability. That's why you have the Darien. But if you want things to be faster, you have to speed tune things now. So like Bella has to move first, and then Bernard has to move first, so he boosts attack bar and all that stuff. So speed tuning is always really interesting how it works. When you get to dragons, you need them to be at like 200 speed now, so you make sure that the dragon doesn't move and cleanses and whatnot. So speed is super important in PvE. But PvP, you guys could talk about it more. I know like there are some weird Tiana tuning stuff up there, but I don't have to worry about that over here. Down here, it's just like if you're above 200 speed in RTA, then you're okay for Challenger. But in Silver and up there, you guys do what you gotta do. I don't know.
In my personal opinion, for anybody that is able to do GB10 for over a month, this is my take on speed. There is no reason for you not to have a Bernard. That's one. And there is no reason to not have a Bernard over 200 speed in total. Like there is like it is so easy to get a Bernard over 200 speed. If you have any Bernard under 200 speed, you haven't been trying to get speed. Bernard is that type of unit that nothing else matters but that speed. Like that is Bernard's one and only job. You could even talk about that with Orion. With Orion, you want that HP because with a lot of times with Orion, you already imagine that the match is going longer than just 2 turns. So as for the speed meta, right, Stoic, if someone asks you about why is speed so important? What is the explanation you're gonna give someone so they can understand why we can't stray away from the speed meta? We talk to come to us about this. They don't want to stray away from the speed meta. So what's your opinion on this?
Well, honestly, I'm probably the worst person to be talking about a speed meta because my account right now literally lives in the third or fourth turn bruiser comps. You look at my monster box, and that's exactly what it's about. Everybody asks me, Stoic, what's your fastest Swift set? And I tell them, if you find it, let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so honestly, the struggle is real when it comes for Swift runes for me. So I did look to see what my fastest Swift set would be, and it looks like I can put together like a 285. And if I were to do that 285, I can get like a stripper, like if I did like my Praha at 285, but all the other stats wouldn't be that ideal.
Of course.
So like I could have one really fast monster, but it's just that one set that I could put together for 285, but it's not going to do me any good if it can't survive in RTA, and that's why I'm stuck in a bruiser meta right now. So I say it all the time, braving the storm. I am constantly braving the storm in RTA as people rain upon all the DOS damage and everything, and I just gotta cross my fingers and get my way out of there. And that's gotten me to G1 in RTA. Past 1800 rank level. So it can be done. The speed meta can be avoided, but the speed meta really is pretty strong if you have the CC units and if you have just those really good resetters to go along with it as well. Because if they're resetting you and they're CCing you, there's really nothing you can do. You can't out tank control.
Okay. So, Champ, I have a very. It's going to be a little a tough question. In this game, this community, and I will use the proper term for this. They are very anal about, oh, is it the units or is it the runes? What's your take on this?
But I think everyone has the same take on this.
All right, so I'm going to just be very honest with you, right? You can have every unit in the game and you can't do anything because you don't have the runes for those units. So there is a 50-50 or 60-40, I should say, where runes are more important than units. So it's 60% to runes, 40% to units. Because you can legitimately, fuse your Nat 5s, you can fuse Nat 4s, you can build teams off of those fusion monsters, you can be strictly free to play, theoretically, or you can play even like Bagelman, how he was playing before he started to get all of his Nat 5s with farmable Nat 3s and farmable HOH units and things like that, honestly. So if you're looking to progress further into the game and be one of those players that everyone looks up to, you're going to have to prioritize runes over units. But if you're just playing this game for collection purposes, I'm going to say units are more important to you than runes at that point. So it's from the get-go, it's all about perception and how you want to take on this game and what type of role you want to play in this game. Because there is no right way, there is no wrong way.
Okay.
Yes, of course you can beat a full Nat 5 team with 3 stars and below in RTA. If your runes are better than, you will definitely be able to do everything, Compositions is more important than units as well. You don't agree with that? Well, I mean, that's your opinion and it's my opinion.
And this is the topic I'm going to be touching next week, next show, is play style. I have talked about different people about play style. And I've talked to a lot of people about play styles and stuff, and that play style do exist in the game. But I'm going to touch that topic next time because I have one last topic that I want to touch right now, and the topic is events. And the reason why I want to touch this topic particularly is because we know what's coming in next. Because we We just had an event, and I'm not going to go easy on this. I despised it. Like I did not want to do this event. It was just terrible. And then now they hit us with what the community refers as no event, which is the refund event. It's usually a terrible event, but I'd rather have this over what we had last time. But we know exactly why they hit us with the refund event, and that's because the anniversary event is coming up soon. So, Sabz, have you already experienced an anniversary event?
No, but I wish I had my account back so I could experience it properly.
All right, so
I missed the L&D event. Like, goddamn, there goes my Jan.
Can I give a prediction / somewhat of a spoiler?
yeah, that's what I was about to get into. Like, what is it that we are expecting or we're thinking, predicting that is going to come up in the following week? It's probably going to be in the following week.
Well, so the anniversary pack, I feel like should be the question on everybody's mind right now. So you guys should know that Comtos offers 2 really exclusive big time packs. So they're going to offer the Transcendent Scroll during Christmas time, and then their other time that they offer that's going to be this this big pack, that the one that you want to purchase would be their anniversary pack. So if their Transcendent Scroll is Christmas, like what will they do for their anniversary pack? Now, why I say spoiler is, guys, it's been proven, and some content creators have come out with this to let the community know. The legendary Light Dark Scroll has been coded. Comtois did say they were going to release the legendary LD Scroll for Christmas. They did not. They released the Transcendence again because the community demanded Transcendence for Christmas. So because of that, if it's already coded and they wanted to do it for Christmas, when's their next big pack? It would be
That's
the
true.
anniversary. So
yeah, I don't even.
That's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be crazy. I'm not sure if they're going to do such thing for the anniversary as the event as well, because we all know that anniversary event usually they consist of the anniversary HOH and a bunch of other stuff like Burning Times and it's a whole list. It's a huge, it's a pretty massive event. So I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen. But yeah, that's where it's gonna get at.
I just think it's dumb because like I'm super free to play, right? So it's stupid that they are giving. I know, like, sure, you reward the people that want to play, like pay money and stuff, but it's kind of lame that like they're gonna make it easier for you to get, I guess, an LD Nat 5 or whatever. I guess it's more for RT and whatnot, but it's kind of like, in my opinion, I'm just like, well, that's lame. I'm like, ugh.
Well, so something to keep in mind. I am part of the Epic Fail community, and we don't like to see, but everybody shows like their summons and everything like that. So we have a lot of pay-to-win players in the Epic Fail community, and there's some of them that will post their LD Lightnings all the time. And the count of Hall of Hero pulls out of their spending out of LD scrolls, it's absolutely huge. So I feel like when you're still pay-to-win, that they're offering a LD Lightning Scroll, it's still RNG that if you pull a unit or not. So I know we're going to be seeing these, just like Transcendence, you're going to be opening up your chat and you'll see all these Nat 5s that are being pulled throughout these chats. And, it is a legendary scroll, so who knows what it's going to be. And I myself, I have still yet to pull a Nat 5 from Legendary Scroll. So...
okay.
Yeah,
I pulled one, so... I've
never pulled one.
Me neither,
I've
never.
Opened a lot of legendary scrolls.
I've pulled one on like my second one.
I mean, just that RNG right there says like what you could get out of spending for an LD scroll. So you can call it pay to win if they get like a LD Nat 5 out of this.
Yeah.
But I would say, money well spent, that you spend money and you get something back from it. But to pull something and it's like Hall of Heroes, like if I get a Diaz from it, I'm gonna be pretty upset pulling Diaz or a Gemini from it. But,
Did you see one of my summoning sessions? I got back-to-back LDs, and they were both Hall of Heroes. That was way too fun.
That's rough.
I was like, they only had 2, and I was like, it's cool. And then I go, I get lightning. I'm like, it's a DS, and I'm like, okay. And then I go again, and it was the Dark Rakshasa, and I was like,
and not even a good one.
no, it was funny. It was funny though. It wasn't my account, but it was hilarious to me.
I think from all the time I've been playing and summoning, I have in my entire 3 years summoned maybe 2 lightning, and one was HOH that I missed. I think it was the Dark Undyne, and then it was Molly. Molly's the only
Oh
LND.
my god.
Molly's the only LND that I have.
That's not of Hall of Hero or weird.
Yeah, so I'm like, I've seen people pull like Bella from Wish and stuff, and I'm like, the one time you wanna fall on the monster, you wanna give us a Bella. Shabato asked, how long have I been playing? I've been playing since, I can actually tell you the exact date. Since March.
I don't think you want to say that.
Huh?
Because that's one of like you don't want to say what you don't want to say your exact date.
No. Okay. So I've been playing.
It's easier to because like you come to us. One of the questions for if you got hacked was like the day you got hacked or the day you started. You don't want to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't even know. Well,
March,
I started
March is
3 years ago. I think around this time itself. So I think I just did like 3 years. So I've been 3 years into the game. I've quit a couple times. I think for the first couple months that I played, I wasn't even able to connect to chat. So every friends that I made were through when I started streaming. So yeah, almost the same time in AC3.
You guys are old, except for Stoic. Stoic is my age, so that
Stoic's a baby, a rich baby. Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I guess I don't know how you started the game. I think you said you watched a lot of YouTube videos and you knew exactly what's going on. I only understood exactly what I need to do starting January. That's when I started to stream. But like before that, I had started like around July, and oh my god, I was doing the wrong things forever, and nobody was telling me I was doing it wrong.
Yeah, the biggest thing you could do when starting this game out is understanding what to invest your time into.
Yeah. So like a lot of streamers help out, and it's really cool.
And
that's why I'm like, okay, I want to make sure that if a new person comes to my channel, I'm like, okay, make sure you don't do this. Make sure you don't 6-star Daphnis, okay? That's not the first thing you want to 6-star. That's what I did. I'm so bad.
And I've just explained this to a person who just started. I'm like, you don't want to go in blind, because you might do something that you will regret for the rest of this like your experience of the game. Doesn't matter if you reset your account, anything. I know there are people in this chat right now that has fed Nat 5 on accident without knowing if they were good. Like
I heard
2 weeks.
A frigate.
A frigate. 2 weeks into playing, I summoned Laika, and I was like, hey bro, the person who told me about the game, I'm like, hey, look what I got. And you can imagine how mad he was, but I was clueless. I was very, very clueless.
Oh, did he tell you it was bad?
No, he was like, oh my god, that's such a great monster. I'm like, he didn't get a Devilmon, he didn't get 6-starred or awakened for like 4 or 5 straight months. Like, because like is a PvP monster, right? So you're not really gonna invest that time into it. He didn't really help with much, but I had him. And now that I'm in the PvP area, I'm happy that I summoned him on day 1. You know what I mean? Because now I don't have to look for it anymore. Same with people.
At least you had your friend tell you not to. You know? At least you had a friend that told you like, hey, this is like a PvP or whatever. Don't do this.
No, he didn't tell me. All he said was it's so good, and I'm like, okay. But at that time, I was more like, I'm just keeping everything. Okay. And I mean, it's common sense, you know. Someone with more stars is probably better. That's common sense. So if I get somebody at like 5 stars, like I have to keep this. So yeah, I like my roommates. It's like, hey, did you get anything new? It's like, nah, man, all my summons are trash. And then I look over to his account and he has Annabelle. Like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
what are you
same thing kind of happened
about?
with me and a friend. So when my friend introduced Summoner's War to me, after my first week, I pulled my first Nat 5 at level 11.
Oh my god, I hate you guys. Stop talking to me.
So
Oh my
he showed me this
god.
monster on the monster list, and he's like, dude, I want this monster. It's a wind monster because I don't have any wind Nat 5s, and it drops bombs, and then it explodes the bombs. And I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. So at level 11, I was like, dude, I got that monster you wanted. So when I pulled Ciara at level 11, he was like, I can't believe I got you into this game. You totally stole it. He's like, it was karma. You stole it from me.
Oh my god, that's
Oh,
too
man.
funny. Liberty just left us.
Yeah, no, I heard knocking on my door, and then I'm like, wait, are my roommates home?
He's here.
No, I'm here. Like, it's like, are my roommates home? And then it stayed quiet. I'm
It's a
like, let me
chair
open the
stream.
door and see if there's anybody out there. And then I'm like, oh shit, it's probably them. Just leave them out there, like nothing happened.
God.
But it's cool. I'm sorry about that. But yeah,
Salt.
yeah, it's a lot of salt. But I am going to start shutting down the show for tonight. I don't want to touch every topic because we have more shows coming up. The one of the topics for sure for next show is going to be playstyles for everybody, because a lot of people can argue that there's one straight path in Summoner's War. Some can argue that there are playstyles. So I really want to talk about that, and there are going to be more topics next week. Just make sure that you're there. After the show, Stoic is currently setting up. After the show, Stoic is going to be streaming, so I'm gonna move you guys all over to Stoic stream. You're still setting up, right, Stoic?
Yes. I'm
Okay.
just
All right, so
finishing it up.
I do want to tell you guys, these are all my streamer friends. We have more people that are going to be on the show. Hopefully, we're gonna see at least 2 of them again next week if they have the time. They all stream Summoner Sword. They are all great help. You guys should check their channels out. They all have different style of streaming, so pick your favorite or pick all of them. Like some people, I know some people watch like a bunch of streams. I have no clue how they do that. But you guys should definitely check them out. And we will be here again on next Monday. What are they talking about? We're gonna be here next Monday. The time is 6 p.m. EST. I'm sorry, I started a couple minutes late.
Don't worry about it.
I started a couple minutes late because as I was starting the stream, I blew my fuse. So I'm gonna make sure that that's not gonna happen again next time. But definitely drop your follow so you can know when we're gonna be on next. It's gonna be I stream as well, but the show is gonna be on Monday on 6 p.m. EST. So mark your calendar. Make sure you're back. This show is hosted by Gamers Quarterly Community, which Stoic is the founder of. So I hope you guys had fun. Feel free to ask me for the Discord because I have the community on my Discord as well. Feel free to message me and suggest topics. Feel free to message me and suggest people you guys want to see on the show. I can easily send a message and see if I can get any particular streamer that you guys want or particular player. I think I can even go that far. And let us know. I hope you guys enjoyed the talk show. I hope you guys enjoyed the guests.
I hope so. Shit. That's all I've been doing here for the past 2 hours. God damn, guys. So high maintenance.
So, I hope I see you guys next week again. I know we promised the show to be only 1 hour, but as we were getting deeper into it, things got interesting. So, I will see you guys again next week. I will upload this to YouTube probably. And
Yo, guys,
if there's
buy
anyone
my mixtape.
What?
Say, guys, buy my mixtape.
Buy my mixtape. So if you got any friends that you think would be interested in the show, you guys can send the link. I'll be putting out the link, so just check my channel. I'll be having the link over there. Stoic is now live, so feel free to go over. We're going to raid his channel from my channel. Thank you all for being here today. You guys were awesome, and y'all better be here next time.
Bye, everyone.
You're muted, bro. You're muted, champ. You gotta unmute, bro.
Get right.
Yo,
Alright,
I swear.
I'm gonna end the call, guys.
I swear.
I was just saying, yo, everyone, stay
Thanks,
safe.
man. Hopefully, I'll see you guys on stream. I'll talk to you later, though. Later, guys.
Okay.
It says
are we
trying to
done?
raid
Are we done
Stoic.
with the stream?
Huh?
Are we leaving chat now? Are we done? Is the stream over?
No, stream's not over. I'm raiding.
Oh no!
I'm raiding
No!
Stoic.
We didn't end it nicely. Look at the weird graphics. God damn it!
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that like at the last minute.
All right, it's been fun. I think I had like ADHD or something. Shit.